Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation is Gauri Beragan, Mahalla Chautha. Jis Miliaye man Hoi Anand, so Satguru kahiye, man ki dubda binas jaye, har parm pad lahiye. Mera Satgur pyara kit bid milay, हाँ खिन खिन करी नमस्कार, मेरा गुर पूरा क्यों मिले रहाओ। कर कृपा हर मेलिया मेरा सतगुर पूरा, इच पुन्नी जन केरियां ले सतगुर तूरा। हर भगत दृढ़ावै हर भगत सुने, तिस सतगुर मिलिए तोटा मूल न आवई, हर लाभ नित दृढ़िए। जिसको हृदय विगास है, पाओ दूजा नाही, नानक तिस गुर मिल उद्धरे, हर गुण गावही. This is a relatively short passage and actually revolves around the notion of the Satgur. And by what means may the Satgur be found? And even the use of the word Satgur here is somewhat nuanced. So let's see how it plays out. In the Rahau, the passage reads, Bera Satgur Pyara Kit Bid Mile. By what method is the beloved Satgur found? How kin kin kari namaskar, I pay obeisance, namaskar, mera gur pura kyon mile. I pay obeisance to the Gur Enlightener who shows me the way to perfection, transcendence. Now here we are making a distinction between Gur and Pura, because there seems to be a continuum at work. The Satgur is the one that carries you to the next dimension of your consciousness. And that is what eventually leads you to universal consciousness, which is Pura. So there is a chain, a link at play. Let's consider the passage more fully, and I think it will become somewhat clearer. The passage begins by saying, Jis Miliaye man Hoi Anand, so Satgur kahiye. Here is a definition being provided by the Guru. Jis Miliaye man Hoi Anand. Facing or experiencing the Satgur, the mind is filled with bliss. In other words, the Satguru is that entity or that experience whereby the mind becomes blissful. Man ki dubida binas jaye, har param pad lahiye. The definition continues. The mind is filled with bliss. Why? Because man ki dubida binas jaye. The self-doubt of the mind vanishes. Har param pad lahiye. And it attains to the supreme state of realization of the Har. So you see the progression that is at work here. The Satgur is the one who connects you to your essential self. But when that happens, you find that they are not distinct things. This is just a continuum that carries on to the highest state of consciousness. So therefore, Kar Kirpa Har Melya Mera Satgur Pura, Ich Punni Janakeriya Le Satgur Tura. Through the compassion of the Satgur, the Har Self is met, and then perfection is realized. So there are degrees of consciousness that are being achieved, or at least being suggested in this line. Kar Kirpa Har Milya Mera Satgur. So the Satgur carries you to the next dimension. Now we have noted this quite a few times. The Satgur can be embodied as a person, indeed, as the Sikh gurus were. The Satgur can also be embodied text, as is Gurbani. It's called Gurbani when it is embodied as text, and that is what is being read out. So it could be either or. The nuance here also is that it is this text or this embodied individual that would carry you across to your higher dimension. And then one discovers that the Satguru is also within. And that Satguru indeed is the Har itself, the higher self. Because you see, in the Sikh system, the individual guru or Sadguru is not being pursued or looked at, because the 10th Guru left us with canonical scripture that we call the Guru Granth Sahib, which is our guide and Guru. And therefore we have to assemble around the Guru Granth Sahib in Sangat. And that becomes the process for 6. Ichpunni Janakeriya Le Satgur Tura. So therefore, one has to engage with the text in Sangat. That raises one's consciousness, because in the earlier days, in the Panth, you had to go through an initiatory ceremony with the Guru who was alive at the time, in person. And after Guru Gobind Singh, the Panth took with his guidance a different tack. It evolved rather to where the scriptural text serves that function within the Sangat. So when like-minded people gather and reflect on Gurbani, the Guru is mystically present. That's the idea. So there is this progression that leads you gradually into a higher state. The Satguru teaches you devotion, love, and attentiveness. Har Bhagat Drave, Har Bhagat Sune. This is Satguru Miliaye. When you meet the Satguru, when you read Bani, for example, and reflect on it, you realize that Bani is stressing certain key things over and over again. It is enjoining us to cultivate virtues, to engage one's attention, which is reflection, and to also collectively engage in kirtan, which is devotional love. So those are the activities that are being suggested for a Sikh to practice in one's daily life. So Har Bhagat, that is Bhakti in Sikhi. So when that is done, Tota Mool na avai har labh nit dhradiye. So not even an iota of loss is felt. As a matter of fact, the benefits of fixing the mind on the Har Self are experienced daily, incrementally. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.